This movie is about new workbooks. We're going to use Control N, which is probably the easiest way to open up a new workbook. We'll go Backstage in the new area and open up a blank workbook from that location. We'll also see that there's a lot of templates, recent templates, sample templates, your own templates that you can create, all of which you can use as a model to create a new workbook from. You can also create a new workbook from an existing workbook, and there are a fairly large number of templates available on Office.com online. Back in Excel, of course, we have Book 1 open. I'm going to open up a couple of more workbooks using probably the quickest way to open up a workbook, which is to press the Control key and then the N key sequentially one time. That's Book 2, Book 3, once again for Book 4, and Book 5. So just that quickly, I've opened up 4 new workbooks. Another way to open up a new workbook is to go to the Backstage New area by pressing Alt-F-N. I'll left-click to get rid of those letters. The blank workbook icon is selected by default. From here, I can open up a new workbook in one of two ways. I can double-click Blank Workbook, or I can single-click Create. I'm not going to do either one of those things, because we would just have, instead of 5 workbooks open, we'd have a 6th workbook open. Instead, I'm going to go to the next option, which is Recent Templates. Left-clicking that, I get a list of recent templates that I use. Now, in this case, it's only one, the blood pressure tracker. I found this template from the installed templates that came with Excel, which is the next place we're going to go to. Again, I can double-click blood pressure tracker, the icon that's selected by default, or single-click Create. Back in the new area, the next option is Sample Templates. The first one on the list is selected by default. The second one is the blood pressure tracker that we just saw. This is where I got the template from. It's part of the array of built-in templates that were installed when I installed my version of Excel. You can right arrow to the one that you want to select, down arrow to get to the ones on the second line, double click either the icon or single click Create. Back in the new area, Backstage, I'm going to right arrow over 3 times and go to a place called My Templates. Left click once. I get a dialog box that doesn't list any templates. I haven't saved any templates out there, otherwise they would be listed here. I'm going to cancel out of that and show you how to save a workbook as a template. First, we'll go back into the workbook, press Alt-F-A to save as, and the drop-down list gives us an option that says Excel Template. This allows you to save any workbook as a template, and once you save it out there, it'll be listed under where we just were, My Templates, for you to utilize as a model to create a new workbook from. Back to the new area, Backstage. I'm going to left-click New from Existing. This allows us basically to use any workbook that we saved as a model for a new workbook that we want to create. I'll left-click Book 1. Book 1 will be used as the model, or the template in reality. Left-click Create New, and Excel opens up another workbook called Book 1-1. If the original workbook was called Fred, the workbook created by using Fred as a reference would be Fred 1. So Excel, by automatically naming this workbook, will allow you to maintain the integrity of the workbook on which this was based. And when you Control S or save this workbook, it'll be saved under the new name, and you'll still have the original workbook to use for some other purpose. And in that way, the original workbook acts as a template. Back to the new area, Backstage again. Below the icons that we just went through, the blank workbook, the 3 template locations, and the new from existing icon, are the Office templates. These are the templates that are available online. The nice thing about this, other than the fact that there are a lot of them out there to choose from, is that, and I'm going to left-click Budgets, Business Budgets, the templates out here have a rating that's given to it by users. In this case, there's 3,208 votes. It rates a 4 out of 5 stars. So this allows you to sort of gauge the effectiveness, or the popularity at least, of the templates. You can right arrow over and down and left, and you'll get a preview of each one of the templates along with the votes that have been cast and the rating that was generated from those votes. To open one up, same story, double-click the icon or single-click Download. So that's how to create a new workbook. Control-N will launch a new workbook quickly within the workbook that you're currently working within. Alt-FN will take us to the new area, Backstage, where we have a way to launch a blank workbook. We can look at the recent templates that we've used. We can look at sample templates that were loaded with our version of Excel. We can look at templates that we have created called My Templates, or we can use an existing workbook as a template and as a model for a new workbook. We also have a fairly large number of templates available online at Office.com that have user ratings that allow us to gauge the potential effectiveness of that template.